All right, we're back. Judd'z Budz episode. I actually can't see it. Nope, 162. Gretzky plus Brad Marchand, given the occasion. As always, your host, Spokesy, joined by my good buddy, Mr. at State of Hoppy. Hoppy, how are you doing?
That's just poetic, isn't it?
It is. It is quite poetic.
I'm actually mad that I didn't even realize that.
It's his day now.
Yeah, is that just do we just jump right in with that? We got a lot we're going to cover here today. Several wild topics. We're going to talk first mock draft for the 2025 draft coming up, and of course a little bit of Mem Cup talk, especially with Ryder Ritchie's news. Holy shit. Do we just jump right in with Leafs, or is there anything you want to talk about or BS about first? Because I can't imagine you could be any happier than 2 home 6-1 losses in games 5 and 7.
I actually have gone back and forth. I mean, just like it's incredible the Wild stick to the bit, go up 2-1, losing 6. Toronto loves the bit of, I mean, you can even just scrap the first 4 games of the series. Either, whatever, at some point they're in command of a series, maybe it's 3-1, or whatever it is. And then there's one pivotal game, that game 5 happens, where they literally look like an ECHL team. And then everyone writes them off. But now we all know that they love to stick to the script. They love the bit where they play great, avoid elimination in game 6. And then on the biggest stage humanly possible, they lose in just outrageous fashion. It was legitimately pathetic last night. I don't understand. It's been 7-8 years of this shit where it's the same exact thing in the biggest games, the biggest elimination games. How are you not ready to go? It is through the first, 6 minutes of that hockey game, the shot attempts were 21-0 Florida. Between the first and second period, the Toronto Maple Leafs played the worst 40 minutes of hockey of the entire season. All teams, regular season and playoffs. As far as shot attempts given up. No team gave up as many shot attempts as they did through 40 minutes. It was 75. That's insane. And there's just, it is unbelievable to me that you could sit here a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, we could have said, hey, they're going to play the Panthers in the second round. They're going to lose in 7. And despite the history in my head, I would have been like, oh, well, you know what? The Panthers might be the best team in the league. We know how they play. It's not really if you lose in 7, it's not gonna be it's not crazy. But it's the way that they do it. It's every fucking year. And I just it was unbelievable to watch. And I mean, the quotes afterwards, at least he's telling the truth. But the fact that Matthews comes out and says they were hungrier than us, how is that humanly possible? How is that humanly possible?
No. Z, the fact that he, the captain of the team, who I don't care if he's injured or not, he didn't deliver. He comes out and says there were too many passengers? Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, here's the thing. He's not even wrong.
No, but how can you? It's crazy. It's like Mitchie boy saying "wake the fuck up" to everybody when it's bro, are you awake? Do you have a pulse? There's something to be said for just taking accountability. People would be so much more forgiving if you were just you know what? I wasn't good enough. Like it's very, this is going to be maybe too mean and you're probably going to love it way too much, but the big dogs for the Toronto Maple Leafs, their post-game pressers sound like they're basketball players.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, that's been the story with them their entire NHL career. Like, Matthews has had whatever times where he said the right thing. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're not, I mean, Toronto fans are like mad up. They're like, fuck it, trade everyone, whatever. But Matthews isn't going anywhere, obviously. Everyone knows how they feel about Mitch Marner. I think at this point, we know how Mitch Marner feels about playing there.
Can I throw out, like, are you sure that he's staying? Like,
yeah.
Is Matthews 100% good?
Yeah.
I'm not even saying from the team perspective. Does he want to fucking be there anymore? Like, the way that, let's be real, like, I'm not saying it's not warranted at all, but, like, him and Mitch in particular have to be like, dude, why the fuck do we deal with this? Like, Marner, fans don't want him back. I don't think he wants to be back at this point. Like, I think it's clear, like, he's just done with this shit. And him and Matthews are best friends. Like, Matthews was already, like, I don't think it was the best negotiation the first time around. You got to think there's a decent chance of him being a flight risk. Why not just trade him, literally bank on Nylander and Nyes being your horses to carry you moving forward, and you could get a pretty reasonable return for a guy like Matthews. Like, it's not as fun anymore to say because the team relocated. But, dude, a trade involving Logan Cooley going to the Leafs could change all the vibes, just putting him and Nyes back together.
Oh, I think that would be
Cooley plus, but dude. And then guess what? Mitchie boy signs as a free agent to Utah. Everything comes together. They finally got their quiet market. They're successful there. And dude, you got gamers and guys that give a fuck in Toronto. I think everyone wins in that scenario. Of course, I'd have to think a little bit more about what else goes in with Cooley in that trade to bring Matthews over to Utah. But tell me that doesn't sound fun for both sides.
I'm not there with Matthews at all. Like, I'm
saying if he's like fed up and just doesn't want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah, if he says that, then
like, it's just like we're talking about with Kaprizov. We don't want to trade Kaprizov, but if we don't have a contract sometime in July, people are probably going to shit their pants back. All right, what are we trading him for?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, like, all this comes down to it's the mix, dude. Like, it just doesn't work. It's not gonna work. Like, and they're good enough, like, as players individually, they can play anywhere, win, but not there. Like, not together. That is what they have going. It does not work. They cannot handle that. The whole situation there is insane to me. It's just like, again, it doesn't even feel like, I mean, because they haven't really made any progress whatsoever. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, it was funny. I was listening to the guys that do their, like, the Sportsnet live stream post game or whatever, every game, like the whole year and playoffs. And they were just like, we're back to the point that we're getting the texts after games that we were getting from, like, rival fans 10 years ago when everything was terrible. And it's like, you deserve better than this. This is insane. It's like, they're not even being mean anymore. They're just like, people feel bad for us. It is, the dude was just like, oh my God, we're back here again. This is fucking nuts. But it is unbelievable. And it's just like the fact that, I mean, honestly, the first period started the way that it did, but 10 minutes in, all of a sudden, like, they had pushback and they looked phenomenal for like 5-6 minutes. They evened up as far as the shots on goal. They had a couple of breakaways. Unfortunately, it's like Holmberg and Lawton, but they had the push. Bob, by the way, what a performance, specifically the first period, just with his poke checks. I always forget how active he is in the crease with that stick. Like, Fleury loves doing the poke checks on, like, the breakaways. Bob is like a third D-man with this, just like with pucks across the crease or just like outside. Like he is ready to go. The active stick. It is unbelievable. Like he did it like 3 times in the first period. But then, of course, the one penalty in the game is the too many men, which was unbelievable. And it was a phenomenal kill. And that barn was rocking at the end of the first period, despite how the first 10 minutes went, despite the fact that, like, at no point, other than maybe 5 or 6 minutes of the first period, they had a sniff of net. But, like, they showed punch back, or they had a really, really good PK. They're getting a couple saves. The energy's there for the penalty kill. And then obviously there's like 6x left of the period. And that barn is rocking. It's loud. The fans are into it. And this is the thing that I've actually come around on. Like we always shit on Toronto about like the building, whatever. Yeah, no shit. They're fucking quiet at times. Like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? And the market thing too, like, yeah, it's the biggest fucking hockey market in the world. Yes.
But you know what?
But I also, like, I was listening to Justin Bohr talk about this. Like, when he was working with the Marlies in the AHL, they didn't have any young guys, any rookies. Like, they did zero media. They sheltered them from the media at all times. Like, they have been just, like, coddled along. And, like, they don't do any, like, radio hits in Toronto. Like, I think most markets, like, guys will go on and do, like, a random segment on, like, a radio. Like, around here, like, Jake DeBrusk did it every week. He would go on, like, Toucher and Rich in the morning, which is, like, at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning. He's on the radio here in Boston. It's like once a week he would do that. Like, guys here on the radio doing hits with, like, WEEI. Fucking Tom Brady at one point was doing radio hits here. Like, it was, like, all of these in big markets, like, the athletes are there. And, like, they get nothing there. So, like, yeah, the media's gonna be all over you. Your answers have been consistently dog shit. And the result's been the same. And those people are paying thousands of dollars to go to that fucking hockey game. Yeah, they're going to be pissed. Now, I'm not ever going to be down with, like, throwing shit in the ice or whatever. But, like, yeah, the fans are going to be pissed. Again, I'm not for throwing shit in the ice. I'm not for, like, flooding fucking Instagram. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, the social media shit is nuts. Like, that's, like, some of that stuff. Like, I'm never going to give anyone a pass on that. But obviously, it's a fucking tough market on you. Of course it is. Why the fuck wouldn't it be? And the fact that it's just been this long, after every year, there was like, this has to be the year they blow it up. And it just never is. But this does feel like the actual breaking point where you have to do it. We'll see what happens with Brendan Shanahan. But it feels like this. I mean, they have to do it. Like, they can't possibly run it back again. Like a fucking full decade of running it back. It's crazy.
No, there's no way. And talk about just it's his episode. We already said it, right? This is Brad Marchand's episode. Him in the post-game presser is just like masterclass magician, like Inception shit, where he's talking about like, imagine if they were in a different market. Like, how do you expect these players to perform? Like, this is a different team. Run it back. It's like, you fucking asshole. Like, just trying to coax him into it.
Yeah, first of all, Marchand but that third line, I mean, that's the line that the Florida Panthers have now used the most at even strength, both in the first and second series of the playoffs so far. He leads in this series. He finishes with the most points. Lundell and Luosterainen have like the second and fourth most points. Like, just an incredible combination of players where they like are just relentless. And he looked like he was fucking 28 again. The amount of times he was flying around the offensive zone, getting loose pucks, winning board battles. Like, at one point he went like behind fucking Joseph Wall through his crease to get a loose puck. And he was doing whatever the fuck he wanted out there. Of course, it's him putting the fucking 6-1 empty net goal in. Also adds 2 assists. Like, he was unbelievable. I don't think he lost a single shift last night. Like, every time those 3 players were on the ice, they were making something happen. And it's just an incredible trio. But and then of course in the post game he says what he says. There's always going to be a piece of it that's doing that shit and like just twisting the knife. He is also like, I actually do believe more than anything, he is like an NHLPA like players first guy at all times. Like he will go to the mat, even if it's just like it's the shit where it's like, look at me, Steve Garbage stealing TVs. Then that's not me. That's like his shit with anything going on in the NHL. Like I remember 2 years ago in the playoffs, Matthew Tkachuk was on a hot mic saying something horrific about Thomas Nosek, which was like, it was the thing where it's like, oh fuck, that's actually what we always hear players say, like, that we don't go there with our like shit talking. And like they asked Marchand about it, it's like, I think what's disrespectful is having those fucking mics around all the time. Like that's, he didn't even touch the subject. He's like, I don't know what he said. Well, who cares? But like that's an invasion of privacy. So you guys like the fucking hot mics being on all the time, like you're supposed to turn them off. Like we're told that we turn them off. And like that was where he left it. Like he is just like the ultimate players first guy in general, but there is obviously a part of that's also just like, please keep this together.
Now
keep it going, run it back.
The counter here, I have to tee this up for you because he deserves it at this point. Our boy Zach, he said he is convinced that Brad Marchand wants to play for the Leafs and will sign with them. They are his favorite team.
Do you know how like I wonder what they would do. Like, imagine that fan base be like, this is abuse. This is actual spousal abuse. Like, this is insane. Like, this is not cool. I mean, like, hell yeah, but like they would see him at a Leafs jersey the first time, and they would get goosebumps. Be like, oh my god, PTSD. He's the first player to ever be 5-0 in playoff series against one team. He's the only player in NHL history who has ever beat the same team 5 times in a playoff series. It's insane. He also has the second most playoff goals against the Leafs in NHL history. Gordie Howe has the first, and he played till he was 700 years old. There was like 4 teams in the fucking league. It is insane. Oh, he was just. I hate how well he fits in Florida. I'm happy for him, but it also makes me sick because it's Florida. But just an incredible performance for all 7 games from him and his line mates, though.
Would you move here instantly if the Wild signed him?
I'm on my way. Can you imagine? That would be great. Yeah, I would love it. It'd be great. Would love that for me personally.
Now let's go to the Mitch stuff, right? I want to brainstorm here and come up with the 5 most fun landing places for him. Like, what would be the funniest? And is the number 1 option Toronto?
Oh yeah, that's easy first as far as like funny landing spots go.
Yeah,
that would be great.
All right, what are the other ones that are big for you? Because I feel like there's 2 that are pretty obvious, but I'm kind of curious where your head's at before I muddy the water.
Yeah, I mean, especially given how the deadline went, I think everyone's bandied about the Carolina thing forever.
That'd be very funny.
Man, if he ended up signing there after saying no to that trade, holy shit, if he really wanted to piss that fan base off even more, my God, that would do it. That's one way to do it for sure. Trying to like, I don't know about funny, but that's something that easily takes the cake.
No, Carolina is the one that I would actually put above Toronto. For me, It goes Carolina, then Toronto, just because of how pissed people already are that he like exercised his rights to not be traded. I still think Boston has to be on the list.
That was, I mean, like anyone that's beat Toronto in the playoffs.
Pittsburgh is probably on the list too, just because of the whole like Dubas connection.
Yep.
And because Dubas will probably be offer sheeting nice.
I mean, I don't know. We've thrown out before like the Utah thing.
But that's not funny. That's just like very practical, right?
Yeah. I mean, realistically, again, like I don't even know how many more like quote unquote funny teams there would be for him to go to. Unless you want to throw like the Islanders out there, like the very just not fun hockey.
Him and Tavares both go back to the island.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, there you go.
That could be fun. I mean, you gotta think that either Ottawa or Montreal could be very funny too, just because of the hate.
Mm-hmm.
It'll never happen, but Buffalo would be extremely funny.
It'd be very fun.
But that one just doesn't feel real. Detroit could be pretty interesting, being right there in close proximity. And like there's absolutely a fit and a need.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's probably as far as like the funny goes. Although, can you ever rule out Vegas?
No, Vegas for whatever reason is just going to be, well, not for whatever reason. They always are
because they exist.
Vegas players, yeah. Like they're always going to be in there. And if you want, yeah, well, Mr. Pebble just said, if you want to throw another like terrible market for him to go to, just because how crazy is Vancouver would be very funny. Throw him on a line with PD. They'd actually probably cook, to be honest with you.
That would be a lot of fun, actually. So what are we saying? Like Carolina, Toronto? I gotta think Boston's number 3. Then I don't know. Is it Ottawa and Montreal or kind of no? I still think Vegas is.
What if you ended up in Florida and then won 11 cups?
Florida on a discount would be very funny. Or like him and Bennett just switch places. Florida, Vegas.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Again, like as far as funny goes, we've probably, yeah, anywhere with Dubas, I guess. Yeah, Pittsburgh,
Carolina, Toronto, Boston, Pittsburgh, Florida, Vegas. What's funnier, Ottawa or Montreal? Probably Ottawa.
Yeah, for now, yeah, probably.
Like 8 teams is enough. We'll make a graphic or something. Anything else? I mean, again, this is like a way happier day for you than me. Like I was just kind of sitting back and ready for exactly what happened. I didn't think it would be nearly as bad as it was, especially after the first period. Like, granted, they had to withstand a barrage from Florida, but they actually looked okay at the end of the period. And coming into the second, I'm like, shit, maybe they are going to like wake up and all of a sudden snap out of it. And then bam, 3 goals in 6 minutes. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, we should talk more about this game just in general, just for a little bit here, because like you said, first period again couldn't have started worse. But even when you look at the chances that they had given up before they registered a single fucking shot attempt, like for the most part, those were shots from outside. Florida doing what Florida does, keeping it simple, fucking like throwing pucks deep, mucking it up, like throwing pucks on net from outside. Again, like Wall was looking good that first period. And like there wasn't a ton as far as like giving up chances to the interior. They like turned a few pucks over in their own end, which like Florida just forces you to do that anyways. But coming out of the first period, again, the fact that that building was as loud as it was, the fact that like PK was as good as it was, and as far as shots on net, they were right there. Like, they were like down 1 or 2 after such an insane start. Like there was no fucking excuse for them to start that second period the way they did. And like I saw someone be like, you know, you have to wonder if like the whole thing with, by the way, shout out Chris Rooney, hope he's doing all right, Boston guy, Chicka, takes that Mikla stick to that. Looked, I was very nervous for like a good couple minutes there, because like it was before he even like put his hand up to his eye to like feel it, like blood was already pouring out of his fucking face. And then the camera goes to him. There's blood on the boards. It's all over the ice. It's seeping through his fingers. He takes that Mikla blade thing just underneath his fucking eye. That looked like a Pronger fucking Berard absolute travesty for a second there. But the fact that he like didn't immediately like sprint off the ice, I was like, all right, it shouldn't be like ideally it's just like taking a whatever, the blade to the face. It sucks. But I saw someone being like, maybe that interrupted something. I'm like, first of all, interrupted fucking what? Also, did it not interrupt Florida? Like, it was Mikola's stick that did it. You'd think he would feel bad if we're going to talk about like interruptions to like flow of hockey or whatever. But just the way that the collapse was immediate. I mean, the second one goal went in, the game was pretty much over. It was crazy. Like, I just don't understand. The passengers, they're hungrier than us. It's like, how are you still here saying the same thing that we hear almost every fucking playoff series? And I mean, at this point, like, everyone knows this about Toronto. Like, there's honestly like not even a whole lot more you can say about them. I still go back to Florida and the job that Paul Maurice has done, the combinations he's found as far as like the defenseman, like being able to. Seth Jones looked like a first overall pick, Seth Jones version last night. What did he play, like 28 fucking minutes? He was everywhere. He had another goal disallowed, which whatever. He was a fucking monster last night. It was incredible to watch. It was like, oh shit, that whenever like we were talking about, oh, is he a Norris Trophy guy? I was like, oh, that's the shit that we remembered there. He was incredible last night, but I actually like the one thing that finally made it like click for me was either after the game or leading up to Game 7. They asked, like, someone asked Paul Maurice like what it was that like makes them so hard to play against, and he was like, when the foundation of your game is as simple as it is for us, the rest we could sort out. But we skate hard, we hit everything that fucking moves. We keep it simple. Like, it's just like we move our feet, we hit. Like, the rest of it, like, we'll figure out the line combos. We attack downhill. It's just like it's a very simple game, and we have every single guy in that lineup that buys in. And it makes sense when you look at like who's leading the scoring this series against Toronto. Not Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk looks like he's playing at like 40%.
Well, it's because he is.
Literally is. Like,
yeah.
Barkov didn't light up the score sheet. Sam Bennett had a couple games where he scored. Reinhardt had a couple big goals, but it was that third line. AJ Greer gets a goal. Gadjevich has a couple goals. Like, it's the depth, and their defensemen are scoring. The other night, that fucking Game 5, I think 5 of their 6D had points, at least 1 point. Like, they keep it simple. It's just like when the foundation of their game, like their style is that, it's that easy. The rest they can sort out. I was like, oh, that actually just makes it. I don't even know why it was taken. Like, how are they doing this? It's like, well, we just fucking like throw the puck and hit people, skate hard, and like everyone buys it. And then you just happen to have special players like Barkov, Tkachuk, Reinhardt, who's ridiculous. But he is fucking unbelievable. I mean, even Evan Rodriguez has been pretty quiet. He was hurt at some point this year too. That play that he makes to hit Jones on that pass in that first goal, that's a fucking great play along the wall. That's another thing too. They're unfucking believable on the half wall, like every fucking player. But it's like they make everything simple, and it works. I mean, they've won what? How many of their last bunch of playoff series? Like, they're fucking insane. Like, they're just kicking the shit out of everybody. It's unbelievable.
Well, and the thing you led in with, which, like, we're famously wrong about plenty of things, but you and I couldn't have been louder about how incredible of a hire it was for them to bring in Paul Maurice. And so many people online were bashing it. Like, it made no sense to me. He's done more than I even expected, but he is just like proving that he's got to be like in the past decade, even 2 decades, he's got to be a top 3 or 5 coach.
Mm-hmm. It's just
and even with the pressers, right? Like, he handles the media basically as well as Marchand does. Like, those two are quite the duo.
Oh, I'm sure they're like buddies, dude. Because I mean, like, even fucking in the pressers, like Maurice would be like, yeah, no one chirps in this fucking league anymore, but like that's why we got Marshy, so at least we have one guy that still does it pretty good. It was like, you have half of your fucking roster a bunch of lunatics. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Kachuk's right there with him too.
Fuck you. But I mean, I like, and again, like, just looking at how we thought the playoffs were going to go. I mean, my bracket was a joke after like it literally took my bracket like 3 or 4 days, like before any of the series even ended in that first round. Mine, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go over, just like my fucking Frozen 4 college hockey, but it was insane too.
Yeah, that was a weird one this year for sure. Mateo, bring back up the Maple Goose Berube piece, because I'm with you, man, but Berube's not going to be around long enough to even like see any of the draft picks come to fruition. I hope he's heavily involved in free agency and the kind of guys they bring in. Maybe it's free agency, maybe it's trade, whatever. But Berube, that's a guy who's like a good coach, and like he has the awakening now of like, oh shit, yeah, these guys are head fucked. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and here that's the other thing too. It's like the one really good thing that Berube's been able to do that, like, I think played a part in them winning the division finally, earning home ice as far as like the Eastern Conference goes anyways. And like having success in that first round, not panicking, whatever, is he is unbelievably calm behind the bench and in the media. Like he's not someone that like really does actually, as far as like when the camera's on him or if when he's doing a press, doesn't really blow a gasket. And last night he fully snapped. Like in that second period, he lost his fucking mind. And it's just like he broke. Like that game broke him. That game broke his fucking brain last night to the point where he lost it on the bench. And it's just like, it is mind-boggling that after this many fucking seasons, you still have to like yell "wake up" at your fucking team in an elimination game with it all on the line. It really is unbelievable. And I mean, it also makes you think, what if they had it go their way in that game 3? Because I mean, they go up 2-0 real early, couple bad goals. Nyes hits the post, I think, in that one, in the crossbar. And then the goal that Marchand scored in OT in game 3, like it took a deflection on the way.
Because it would be it's
next
just level like, wet dream for you for them to lose a 3-0 lead in a series and get beat.
Reverse sweep. I got actually like I slowly just became more annoyed with it now. Like I wasn't even at the point where I was actually like really like it wasn't like enjoying it. Like it's always gonna be funny. But it like even just watching like you can't even like a 3-2 overtime. Like I mean that would probably suck hard. Like it was a dog shit game.
Bad.
And I really thought we were gonna get like after that first period, I was like, oh, like this one has the makings of like an OT late third period winner. But like it was just just watching it unfold was incredible.
For you though, being the sicko that just like is living off of Leaf sadness, do you enjoy more that they got absolutely pummeled in this game, or do you wish that it had been like a tighter game, close loss, Mitch looks good, so that like all summer they're like, shit, do we bring him back? Do we not?
I actually didn't enjoy, like I did not.
I don't believe you.
I'm not kidding. It got to the point where I was so annoyed that I was like, you know what? Again, I am not a throw shit on the ice guy ever. Like I think that's like that's despicable. By the way, did you have the TNT broadcast on? Did you hear Edzo? He was like, so Edzo color commentary last night when like the fans started throwing jerseys on the ice in the middle of the play, seemingly to actually get in the fucking way. Edzo goes, oh, now we have fans. That is so dangerous. They ought to take that fan and have a conversation in the bowels of the arena. No words. And I was like, oh, he wants to kill him. I was like, he was so angry. It was unbelievable. I was like, holy shit.
That fan should sleep with the fishes.
It was insane. He wanted to kill the guy.
That's pretty wow.
But honestly, like it was actually just annoying to watch. And maybe it's just because they have that sweet child, Brandon Carlo, who took a puck to the butthole. which was unbelievable.
The cornhole save was quite something.
Like the placement was but it was just
who did it better, him or Zuccarello?
Well, no, definitely Carlo. Poor Zuki. Jesus. But I again, like I actually was just like, it's like it was pathetic. It was annoying to watch. It may, I don't know if it was just because I really was hoping for like a really, really competitive close hockey game, but I don't know, man. The fact that Florida can do that without like having Barkov, Reinhart, Kachuk, Bennett, any of those big dogs really take over, it's terrifying. Like they have four forward lines that know their role. Everyone has a role. Everyone plays a part. They just keep it simple and they get it done. It's crazy. But
well, let's move on to that series then. Let's talk about the Final Four. And it is interesting because there's like fun storylines with all four potential Cup final matchups, but it just kind of sucks that the narrative around all of this is that Dallas and Edmonton is going to be electric, explosive, and like who gives a fuck about Carolina versus Florida?
There's still a lot of intrigue in this like Carolina-Florida series. Like
for us, yes. For general public and like casual hockey viewers, not at all.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
Probably
I think they are all dialed for Dallas Edmonton, and they're like,
yeah,
if I'm available for Carolina, Florida, I'll watch it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, especially the fact that Heiskanen came back and looked as good as he did. Like, he is sick. He is so fucking sick.
You know how much I love him.
Oh my god, he is fucking unbelievable. Again, Harley, unbelievable. Like, that Dallas team is cooking right now. Granlund can't stop scoring, apparently, which is also very funny.
The whole thing, dude. How about Sam Steele has that massive, like, impactful goal?
I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I was like, this is the most
basically
annoying shit in the world.
Dallas is like, hey, let's take what Minnesota has done and like make it better between Granlund, Steele, Dumba's being benched, which maybe the Wild should have considered. They even bought out Suter after we bought out Suter. Like, they're just one-upping everything we did, and it's all working. And then, of course, their best player so far, second best player, because no one's better than Rantanen, is Ottinger. And then their best player now has basically solidified that he is Moose. Like, Marcus Foligno should just relinquish the title altogether. Who's Moose?
The Meeson.
Many much Moosin.
It's a great bit.
The three people that got that joke are gonna love it, and everyone else is like, "What the hell am I listening to?"
The Mason. Was it Brian Regan?
Yes, that is his best stand-up bit. It's one of my favorites ever. The stupid in school.
The slowly unraveling. It was like, the Mason, the fuck. Anyway,
but so let's not go over to Dallas Edmonton again. Let's talk Carolina Florida. See, you moved on to the other series, proving that Carolina Florida will widely be viewed as boring. I love this one though. Like, it is probably the two best coaches remaining, and it's going to be interesting now seeing Florida go from playing against Toronto to a completely different style of makeup with Carolina. And famously, Carolina cannot be swept, even though they've been swept in every single conference finals that they've played in. They cannot be swept. Just ask Rod Brindamore. He'll tell you.
They've never been. It's not possible.
Now, in fairness, maybe his argument would be that it's not a sweep because they're not gentlemen, because all they've done is gentleman sweeps the whole way through. He's like, we haven't been swept because the other team, they weren't gentlemen.
Honestly, like, one of the things that's actually really intriguing about this one is the fact that, like, I mean, we've talked about the Devils Carolina series where it was just like, man, this could have been very fun if not for all these injuries. We went up against Washington And I think we both picked Carolina in 6, maybe.
I might have said 5.
You may have said 5. I was surprised how easily they dispatched them. And I mean, the fact that, again, they get a couple big-time performances from our boy Logan Stankoven. By the way, he looks like he's going to be a fucking phenomenal Carolina Hurricane.
Well, dude, they flat out said the reason that they went after him in the trade, they're like, yeah, he will fit in a way that Rantanen did not.
Yeah.
Because they even said, they admitted after the fact, they're like, he was doing things in practice where it's like, holy shit, this is awesome. But, dude, that's not how we do things. It's like, wait, what?
Hey, you're here? I need you around here. I need you down here a little bit. You're up here.
You're doing too much. Need you a little bit less. Well, no. Now you're just laying there. You got to do something.
No, okay, not that. Okay. Now you're doing nothing. I still really believe that was going to be so that could work, turning their pure shot volume into shot conversion. But here we are. But again, Taylor Hall's been really good the playoffs. Logan Stankoven looks awesome. And again, Svechnikov again was a beast in the series too. It's 2 series in a row that he's just been a fucking animal.
Hang on. Important question. Who is the best player in the series?
I would probably still say Barkov.
No, I think Carberry answered the question.
What did he say? I didn't even listen to that pressure.
He gushed over Jacob Slavin.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough.
I think that's the answer. But sure, I got time for the Barkov argument.
And I mean, we talked about this too after that, or maybe it was midway through that Devil series, but sprinkling a little Conn Smythe on Slavin doesn't do, because he was a fucking animal in that series against Washington. They just could get nothing going. The fact that we have Slavin and Forsling again in the same series, very fun. Also, maybe not that fun. I don't really know. It's just 2 absolute fucking horses that skate like the wind, shut everyone down. The plays they make with their stick, it's they're not going to blow anyone up. They're not going to score several points per game or whatever, but the foundational skills that they have, they can both play 30 minutes a night if you need them to, and they're going to go up against your top dogs and be fine and be comfortable. 2 of the elite quiet defensemen in this league going head to head. Very fun for me to watch anyways.
Very fun. Now, we should cover this for all 4 teams, but let's talk these 2. Who are the guys that the narrative is going to be around hey, they got to win the cup for this dude, right? I think the obvious one for Carolina is, Brent Burns. I think he's really the only one that stands out for me. Florida, I feel like Nate Schmidt's my guy, but do you have a different pick for either team?
Love Schmidt.
Huh?
People love Nate Schmidt. You cut out before whoever you said on Carolina.
Oh, the person I said for Carolina was Brent Burns.
Yeah. I personally would love to see for Taylor Hall too.
Taylor, that's actually a really good pick.
I actually don't think there is anyone on Florida. I think people hate people outside of Boston watching the 4 Nations thing. We're damn it, Marchand's really fun. We do like him. God damn it, they were right. He is funny as fuck. This is weird. But then he went to Florida. It's all right, fuck this guy. We hate everyone on this fucking team.
Well, and the other guy that would have been
piece of shit
worth mentioning would be Seth Jones, but I feel like people already hated him to begin with, and then he's with Florida, so they hate him more.
Yeah, there might not be anyone on Florida. People yay, good for that guy.
I think Nate Schmidt.
Yeah, Nate Schmidt, I guess. I just don't know how much name brand value he has around the league. You know what I mean? People know him.
Fair.
But it's not. It's a different level of like you said, or I said, Taylor Hall. You said Brentford. Like everyone knows those two, obviously, two of the more well-known guys in the league. But I think Florida at this point, everyone hates them anyways. I'm at the point now where like I can't hate them. Like I'm just in awe of watching them because it's just like
They're fun.
They're unbelievable, and their game plan is so fucking simple. And the buy-in that every fucking guy has is insane. But Carolina, they also have a team full of buy-in. Like, so that's a thing too. These are two of the hardest working teams in the league.
In very different ways,
head-to-head. Yeah. Where it's like Carolina's gonna give you the like fucking just insane volume. Shots mostly from the outside, whatever. But now they've actually got some like intriguing pieces there with like Stankoven and Hall. Like Svechnikov's just a beast, and he's been a beast in the playoffs. So it's like still different than it has been in years past. But then you have Florida, who's just like, we are going to chip it in and kill you. But guys like Slavin mitigate that, where it's just like, yeah, he's almost unforecheckable. That being said, Sam Bennett fucking killed him last time they played, like out cold, asleep, with one of the most insane forechecks I've ever seen. But it's gonna be fascinating.
Dude, Sam Bennett's gonna make so much money this summer.
Yeah. What's gonna make people sick? Is he gonna take a little bit less just to stay there?
I mean, if so, I respect it.
I half expect like almost every guy on that team to be like, I'll take a little less just to chill out here. Because they just have a team that can win for years.
And it's the golf cart community, right? Like it's basically like Tampa has the jet skis and Florida has the golf carts.
Yep. Yeah.
And it is pretty crazy. Now, the fun one, I don't know why I'm spinning to this, but thinking of like a Sam Reinhart, right? Buffalo has the reputation of like, hey, we've got all these great first round picks that didn't work out here. They leave and win. Is that going to be the new dialogue around the Leafs? Like all of their big guys that now like filter out as they start shuffling the cards. Like Marner's going to win a cup in the next couple of years. Matthews will leave. He'll win a cup shortly thereafter. Like, is that the best case scenario for you as the outside viewer hating the Leafs?
I don't know. I think at this point for them, like it's such a ridiculous scenario, like situation that they find themselves in, that if one of those X guys goes and wins a cup, they're like, it was never going to happen here. So good, whatever. Don't get like
incredible pull from Cosgrove.
That's
Buffalo is the good luck chuck of the NHL. They take these players out on dates to Jesus Crust. That is the best fictional restaurant that has ever been created. You will not convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's really good. Yeah. I mean, again, I still just think like that fan base, like everyone involved in that market is just like, you know what? If someone leaves here and goes and wins a cup, it was literally never going to happen here with this mix. Like it was just never going to work. So whatever, dude. Yeah. Like whatever.
You know what though? Like it can work. Like we're seeing it right now, and it's different, sure. But I told you at the beginning of the year, I couldn't even rationalize it or explain it. Carolina Hurricanes on paper got worse this offseason. They lost some like noteworthy names, didn't truly backfill them, but they just had the right guys that fit the right vibe, and they've got the coaching, they've got the full culture, and they were in a division that wasn't going to challenge them too much. Like Toronto could look worse on paper and still perform better. And that's very, very possible, especially with Berube. If they bring in the right guys, I don't know. It'll be fun to wait and see just all of the chaos around that this summer. So what's your pick then? Like, what's your stance on how the series is going to shake out, Florida, Carolina, before we jump over to the quote-unquote fun series?
I think I'm going to go Florida again. I think I'm going to go 6. Like, watching how well they can just cook is unbelievable to me. Honestly, if the Leafs had won last night, I think I would have picked the Leafs. I think like if it had I think I would have picked it's just I don't know what it is.
I get
it's
it.
gonna be interesting. Carolina is about as healthy as you could be through 2 rounds of the playoffs. Washington, obviously a hard team to play against. They didn't really wasn't a whole lot of anything going on in that series anyways, as far as physicality goes. But I mean, is a lot of rest. So that's been a few extra days, but
I kind of thought
that really play in?
I thought this going into both series, Toronto would have preferred to play Carolina and Florida would have preferred to play Washington. The way that they match up. And I just think Carolina is a team that's 1, disciplined enough, 2, deep enough that third line for Florida isn't going to be what wins it for them. Again, it's a huge scale tipping piece, but they need more from their big dogs. And a lot of the guys are playing fine, but we haven't seen them pop on the score sheet. We know Matthew Tkachuk is not himself. He is absolutely playing through something that we'll never hear about until the series is over. I think this is Carolina's time. They will truly not be swept. Problem is, I feel like if it gets to a game 7, they will lose because Florida just has that pedigree that they're going to figure it out and get it done. So Carolina's got to win in 5 or 6, and I guess I'm going to say Carolina in 6. Yeah, I believe if Anderson stays healthy and keeps playing like he's been playing, I don't have concerns through the rest of their lineup. It's really, is Freddie Anderson going to keep doing what he's done? If so, I absolutely believe. And everyone shits on their black jerseys for whatever reason. I love Carolina's black jerseys. Sorry, Pete Blackburn.
Yeah, I'm neutral on them, I think. Let me just pull up. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting too because it's we talked about Florida's the third line, the Marchand, Lusterin, and Lundell line, and then Carolina has another one of those lines too, where it's the let me pull. I want to pull up their actual numbers from Natural Stat Trick. 5v5, the Jordan Staal, Jordan Martin, Seth Jarvis line is Jordan Staal, I think, could play till he's 85 fucking years old. He is just a machine. He is a literal robot. But I mean, they give up nothing as far as offense going against the other way. They're off the ice, they control expected goals by 62%, scoring chances 73%, nothing high danger. They have another one of those lines too, where it's just I don't know, it's a very intriguing matchup, regardless of how exciting the hockey is. It is a very, very intriguing matchup just because it's just 2 seemingly chaotic teams going head to head. But yeah, like you said though, the fact that Tkachuk's on one leg or whatever that fucking injury is, the big dogs haven't popped yet. It's either hey, are they feeling something? They've played a ton of fucking hockey over the last 2 years. So we'll see, but it's gonna be I think it's gonna be really, really fun to watch. 2 of the best coaches in the league too, so we'll see.
Fair enough. So then we move on to Dallas, Edmonton.
I shouldn't be allowed to watch hockey anymore. I shouldn't. I'm at the point where I'm I'm going to pull a Rod Bredemore in honor of Bruce Cassidy and be if you really watch it, we didn't lose. We actually won that series. I don't understand how Edmonton does this. It is unbelievable. They looked so fucking good every single game, including defensively. And yeah, there were games where Draisaitl, McDavid, they had some big plays. They looked really good. They made some whatever. They went SportsCenter top 10 mode a few times. They're getting depth scoring. And I'm these fuckers? How the fuck? Where did this come from? Like Trent Frederick scored in one of the games. I was like, holy shit.
That's the craziest thing for me with Edmonton is the depth scoring, and that McDavid and Draisaitl just haven't, like, they're not bad. They just have not carried, and that scares the crap out of me. And oh wait, they could get Ekholm back.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, oh my God, are they going to actually get him back?
That I need that. I think that makes this series so much more fun. And hot take. We're going to keep, like, how can we make this about the Leafs, right? Connor McDavid wins the Stanley Cup this year, and he goes to the Leafs, whether it's in a trade or going there as a free agent, because the only way for him to be better than Gretzky, better than Lemieux, is to win a cup with Toronto. That would prove that he's the best player that's ever played. It's the only thing he can do to top them.
The Falcon. What blows my mind too, though, like I can't. Pulling up all of the stats on Edmonton is fascinating to me. They use both goalies almost the same amount as far as minutes. Like, I'm pulling it up. Let's see it. All straight, whatever. Calvin Pickard played 135 minutes. Stuart Skinner played 119 minutes in this series.
Dude, hang on. How about Edmonton winning the cup and Jeff Skinner played one game? His first playoff game ever, benched the rest of the way. Technically gets a ring, probably, but like that's got to be just the biggest kick in the nuts ever. Sorry, Mats.
Yeah. I like Edmonton again. They're just like at this point, like they're breaking my brain every time I watch them play. I'm like, I don't understand how this works so well, but I guess that's what happens when you have a couple cheat codes. And again, the fact they're getting depth scoring, they've got better. Like each and every game in these playoffs, they've got better, which is terrifying. And again, now they're getting that going back potentially. Like, my God, Bouchard was unbelievable this series too. Yeah, I every game I was watching, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I just don't understand how this works. Like, this doesn't work for anyone. This would never work for anyone else. But here they are.
It's a fact. So how do you even break down this series? And Z, retweet the post on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
But like, how do you begin to break this down? Because everyone, including us, all along the way, I guess not Dallas in the second round as much, but first round for sure, everyone thought Colorado was taking Dallas down. Edmonton's been second guessed in both series and handled them quite well. What's the matchup? How does it fit? Who do you see coming out on top?
My brain still says Dallas. Because I just can't wrap my brain around Edmonton doing it again. But that being said, again, they're getting Ekholm back. I think for me, like, Dallas has also got scoring from all over the place, but Rantanen especially, obviously. But like in that first year against Colorado, you had Blackwell scoring a couple big goals. Yeah. And they've just got a couple of those depth pieces really contributing big time. Heiskanen's back. We'll see if Robertson can get going. I still pick Dallas, but I mean, who knows? Like the way that Edmonton's trending, like I'm not necessarily like a momentum, especially like series to series type, but Edmonton is drastically improving every game of these playoffs. They looked really fucking good in all areas of the ice against Vegas. It was unbelievably impressive. So it's probably foolish to doubt him again. I still just lean Dallas. I thought like more than the Winnipeg series, they were just incredible against Colorado, like to a shocking degree, without Heiskanen and Robertson. So I still end up leaning Dallas, but who knows? Whether Edmonton's cooking, maybe they're the ones that fucking break Ottinger. Like, I don't know.
See,
Again, the fact that they've had both goalies play almost the same amount of minutes and kick the shit out of Vegas in 5 games is crazy.
True. That they were all very close games, so like I think it's a little misleading. And let's be real, dude, Vegas did not look like they did in the first round. And even in the first round, they like weren't fully themselves. So I'm not putting as much stock in what they did against Vegas as I am with how they finished against LA after the start. I want, for so many reasons, to pick Edmonton, but the goalie battle is really where I see the discrepancy, right? Like, Ottinger is better than either goalie they've faced, notedly. And I gotta imagine, whether it's Skinner or Pickard, like, worst goalie that Dallas has faced. And it's hard for me to overlook that basic fact. So I'm going Dallas, but I don't feel good about it at all.
You could tell me Dallas in 5, Edmonton in 5, Edmonton in 7, Dallas in 7, or any like I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know, sure.
No, this series I won't be betting on at all. There's no chance.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's like two very different teams. Like Dallas is just like almost perfect at this point, especially with Hayes getting back, and like Harley's unfucking believable. They're getting depth scoring. They've got guys like Granlund popping off, like, and then you have obviously Randon just in like just absolute sicko mode.
There are people that want Granlund back in Minnesota. I'm not one of those people.
Not yet, no. But I mean, I'm still happy for him. He's been playing so well.
Good for him.
Yep. But
all right, now what's the most fun cup matchup? Because we've got the 06 rematch. We've got the 24 rematch. We've got, let's see, now I got to think through these. So that covers both the Edmonton options. We've got the Rantanen Bowl. And we've got, there's nothing exciting about Dallas, Florida off the surface, but it'd be a very fun series regardless. I don't know. What's the best outcome for just like pure fun, not personal preference? Like, I like this team. What's the funnest matchup?
I mean, probably Edmonton, Florida again. Just absolute chaos. That's probably like the funnest matchup.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That being said, if it was Dallas, Carolina, mandatory, Dallas is only wearing their home jerseys. Carolina's only wearing their red jerseys. That's it. Christmas colors for 7 fucking games. It's chaos. I love it. More colors. No more of these white fucking jerseys. But yeah.
No, then they got to go with the black with the highlighter outline.
The fucking like Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Carolina could actually no, they can't. Obviously, they can't wear their black, but it would be like the fucking code red jerseys for Mountain Dew. But you can't go black on black. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm very excited for both series. Either way, though.
No, I think they'll both be great.
Yeah.
But the nature, like you said, of like I could see either team winning in 5, either team winning in 7. Who knows? Like that's why everyone is going to be absolutely glued to Edmonton, Dallas. And the best part of that matchup. What is the greatest Edmonton, Dallas moment ever? Because it's an easy answer.
Is it the missed empty netter?
Missed empty netter that goes back the other way for the Hemsky goal. Dude.
The fact that the puck like he fell over.
Really, really tough look.
Every time that clip like pops up, because it just constantly does like randomly. Like I'm like scrolling through like my Instagram feed, or I'll just like see it pop up on Twitter randomly. It is still like the watching that puck go. He's like full wipe out. It's insane.
He exploded.
Like he exploded, dude. He disintegrated. It's like, oh my god. But yeah.
Yeah. Facts. All right, let's move on then. Only like 2 firm Minnesota Wild topics that we need to get into. And Z, let's take it back to a base level for some of the fans. Danila Yurov has signed his ELC, which comes with some caveats we'll get into. But anyone that's never looked at our channel before, like just like, hey, we saw Danila Yurov is going to be talked about, and we hear he's good. We want to know more. What can you tell people about what kind of player Danila Yurov is and what they can expect? Maybe not like day one, but like what's the upside and skill set he provides?
Yeah, I mean, this is a kid with a ton of skill offensively. Like some of the goals that he scores in transition are beautiful. Like he has that classic, like just hit the offensive zone, pull the puck into his own skates, and then through the defender's skates, go top shelf. But he's also just such a good two-way forward. Like he gives you value on a PK. Like he's a really good defensive forward in his own right as is. He can play center. He can play wing. He's looked really good the last 2 years playing center in Russia. He's played the last 2 years. He's actually been given the ice time. The only concern is the fact he's got 2 surgeries in the last 12 months is a little bit concerning, obviously. That being said, he's returned from both and looked really good. This year, the stats weren't eye-popping like they were last year. At the same time, again, 2 surgeries. And like the Metal League team 2 years ago, obviously they won the Gagarin Cup. They're the best team in Russia. He looked incredible. But I mean, you've got a two-way pivot, scores. He can assist. He's a playmaker. His playmaking game for me is actually taking a big step too. Like, I mean, like one of the things coming into his draft year and all throughout his draft year, well, when he was playing, I guess he was a guy that was creating a lot more offense for himself more than necessarily for his teammates. But like the move to center has really blossomed his playmaking game. Like he's been driving offense in Russia, so he looks really good. And again, just the fact that he's played pro hockey in Russia, one of the best leagues in the world, on a really good team with really good players. I don't think it should take him a whole lot of time to adjust. Anyone that's banking on him being a top 6 forward right away, that's a little bit, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Am I going to rule it out? No. But, I mean, who knows? You just stick him in the middle of Kaprizov and whoever else, and maybe, who knows? Get the Russian connection. But he can kind of give you a little bit of everything. I think he's probably like a 65, 70-point guy, potentially in the NHL. But he's just a really fun player, and he's looked really good. It was nice to see him come back from his surgery for the playoffs. He did score a real nice goal in the playoffs when he came back, even though they bowed out in that round against Omsk. But he's just looked really good the last 2 years. And, like, surprised, like, the move to center, playing pro hockey, like, he's looked really, really good.
Like an Amby Turner, Cosgrove. Thank you so much. Any credence to the only reason the Brazo trade happened is because Danila Yurov demanded number 22?
It's good. It's the only reason. It's good. It's the only thing that makes sense. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Let's just get that rumors going.
How about that reply too from Bruins Network? Fucking assholes, but I loved it. Like, hey, on the bright side, you can't trade Rossi for Brazo at this point.
Son of a bitch. He texted me immediately. And he goes, LOL, bitch. Fuck you.
I love that. I'm going to steal that. That's going to be the new ace here.
And then he was like, no, seriously, why the fuck do they want to trade Marco Rossi? I was like, don't get me started.
It's funny. I like whenever someone either comes on here, I just talk to people on the side and I'm like, hey, like, what do you think Rossi's value is? They're like, can you first explain why they want him out? I'm like, dude, we don't have enough time for that shit. Just tell me what you think about him. Like, it's nonsensical at this point. Let's talk about it then. Marco Rossi. Obviously, we're going to be talking about it until a trade consummates, but Mateo did God's work and threw out the bat signal to plenty of reactionary commenters about mock Marco Rossi trades that we're going to review, discuss. I'm sure some of them are extremely unhinged. Some hopefully are realistic. We'll see how it goes. First couple here from Mini Filipino, Rossi and Ogren for Larkin. It's going to take more than that.
Yeah, I mean, if Detroit wants to do that, I'd be like, all right.
If Detroit does that, you get that executed as fast as possible. I will say it's funny because like I totally get where Russo's coming from, but he's like, yeah, I just don't think a little rift between Yzerman and Larkin is going to derail everything and lead to them trading their captain and star player. And I'm like, yeah, definitely not in Steve Yzerman's bag to take the star player of his team, who's the captain, and trade him because of a dispute. That's never happened once in his history. Well, at least not since he's been in Detroit. God bless Marty St. Louis. Fuck you, Yzerplan. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out Larkin being traded, but it's probably less likely. But it's Rossi, Ogren, and probably another legitimate prospect or a first rounder or something like that to even like get that discussion started, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, look what happens if you take Larkin out of that lineup. You know what I like? It's like not just.
What about a fourth line center like Marco Rossi though? That plugs the hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see them moving on from Larkin. Like, I just don't see it happening. Like, I put that at like a 10%. Unless he like demands to leave, which I don't think he would. But yeah, I mean, you're adding at least 2 pieces, and then maybe like Detroit adds like a 5th.
Yeah, who cares at that point? And to be honest, though, like we've seen it before. Everyone's so afraid to trade prospects or even good players. Like, dude, how did Florida become Florida? They took a big swing that everyone criticized, sending their leading scorer and a legitimate like top 4 defenseman for Matthew Tkachuk. And is Dylan Larkin Matthew Tkachuk? No. For the Minnesota Wild, does he help as much? Arguably, yes. So I'll give them whatever they want, short of Boldy, Kaprizov, Faber, Bouillon. Like, tell me your price, Yzerman. I'm in.
Yeah.
Next one, Lizard to Kaprizov to Lizard to Kaprizov. Rossi for Dylan Guenther. Armstrong hangs up the phone immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if that would necessarily be intriguing for like the Wild. Like, I think that's one that both GMs are like, what? So like just the same guy, or like not the same guy, but like something that we have. Like, I mean, you look at the prospects that Minnesota has. Like, obviously, Dylan Guenther rocks. He had a really good start. He got hurt at one point, slowed down a little bit. He's a really good player. He's going to score a ton of goals. But yeah, I would imagine it's probably a non-starter. I mean, honestly, for both.
Why for both?
I mean, I don't think. Like, I love Dylan Guenther, but I don't necessarily. Like, that doesn't really for Marco Rossi, that doesn't really move the needle for me.
I don't know. 5 inches moves the needle a lot for Bill Guerin.
He is tall.
And like with some of the things that we're gonna like, realistically, we don't know what the market is for Rossi. Like, they could have absolutely tanked his value. Like, I could see way worse returns than Guenther happening.
Right. Yeah.
If that was on the table, I say yes immediately. Personally,
yeah,
I think he's that caliber of player, but he's not a center. I get it. I just don't think you're gonna have to be adding so much to a Marco Rossi trade to bring back a center. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. Luke Sims, Rossi, Spacek, 26 first, 27 third, and 5th, and Stramel.
Oh my God.
For Tage Thompson. I am very outspoken. I don't think Tage Thompson is going anywhere unless Tage Thompson says he wants the hell out. This is at least like closer. I think Spacek is absolutely the wrong name. I think you got to throw in like a legitimate defenseman prospect if you want this kind of trade to go through. But like, you do that, it at least on the surface is a reasonable trade. This is the most like realistic one that I think we've heard, assuming Tage Thompson was out the door.
Right.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if it's just like the volume of assets going one way. It feels crazy. I mean, but if you got to do all that to bring Tage here, like, sure.
Again,
I don't know. Like I can't like wrap my brain around like all of that going. But again, like yeah, Rossi is one thing. I don't. Again, with Buffalo too, it's just like when you look at the prospects they have coming, how
they're
they
not going to
drafted
do
them.
it.
Right.
Agreed. But as far as like a fair trade, I think this is close to being a fair trade. It's just they're not moving Tage Thompson. If they do, they need someone that's not exactly a carbon copy of everyone in their prospect pool. And maybe that's where it's not your first line center, but that's where Stramel at least plays a role.
I feel that feels like a lot of picks though. Like I mean, you could do fewer picks, but a better
defenseman than Spacek, yeah. Like literally just make it Rossi, Lambos, 26 first, Stramel. Which I still think is probably a touch spendy.
Yeah.
But like I'm not saying no if that's what's there.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, Tage Thompson I don't think is going anywhere, especially not in a Marco Rossi trade. And Luke, it pains me to say that because I would love to see Tage Thompson here. But yeah. We got more. Slick Rick says Rossi and Spurgeon for Tage Thompson. Again, I don't think the fit is there from Buffalo's perspective, but I don't hate it if it made more sense for the team. Like I think Rossi and Spurgeon could be an interesting package for other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think Buffalo's hanging up the phone.
Yeah. Again, because of what we talked about before, they have a ton of small, skilled guys.
Plus, I mean, just looking at the runway, like how much time you still have with Tage Thompson, how much time you have left with like Spurs, you know what I mean?
Okay. What if it's Rossi and Brodin? Does that change it at all?
Still, no, I don't think so.
Danielson says Rossi and Spurgeon for Elias Pettersson. I personally don't think that Bill Guerin will bring Elias Pettersson here.
Yeah.
But
I'm fascinated to know what the league perception is around Elias Pettersson at this point. Like,
not great.
Because just knowing how NHL GM scouts, whatever, like value players, like especially when they would look at like a JT Miller versus Elias Pettersson. Like, I'm sure he scares 31 other GMs. Especially like, I mean, the contract is like the biggest part of that, but like,
I'm gonna go very much in the like Mitch Marner ilk though, where get him in a quiet market, and I'm interested. Like if Columbus could acquire him, he's probably not going to waive for them, but like that'd be interesting to me, right? Carolina probably isn't a good fit, so bad example. Like Utah makes sense. I don't know what the trade looks like, but those are the kinds of teams that I'm like, yeah, take a swing because the talent is absolutely there. And there's no doubt that being in Vancouver is part of what's going on, but you can't blame it all on that.
Yeah, I mean,
I say it goes to New York.
Yeah, boy, wouldn't be totally not toxic. I should have said from the jump to you, I'm always so bad at like creating trades in my head because like sometimes these trades happen. I'm like, huh? Like that's
Bob McKenzie. It's one for one.
Like I couldn't even begin to tell you what is or isn't realistic. It's just like in my own head. Like
there's two different realistics though. Is it realistic for each organization or is it a realistic, like a fair and equitable trade? I can evaluate that.
That's the part where I'm like, I don't know. The fits for each team maybe is more like, hey, is that player good here? Are these good fits there? It's the what does the transaction look like? I'm like, fuck, I have no idea anymore. Again, with just watching how some of these trades have gone down the last like 3-4 years, I'm like, I don't know anything. This is crazy. I can't value shit. But like with the you mentioned like the Marner Pedersen similarities. Like for me, it's also like, hey, those are two of the best players in the league at their position. I think they can win. Can they be your horse? You know what I mean? Like, can they be your guy, like the guy to win you the cup or whatever? Like, I don't think either one of them probably.
No,
Pedersen has the
really
1C
good
pedigree, but can he be your dog, like, to win you that cup? I don't know.
No, I don't think either necessarily can, but that's also partly in the makeup of like they're not dogs, right? Like the talent, yes. If you've got the right guy playing adjacent to them, that might be what it takes to propel them and free them up to go and do what they do best.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't think either of them are dogs. I think they're both like immensely talented, right? But like JT Miller, dog.
Yep.
Matty Nyes, dog.
Was that the kid that's talking about his teammates? Like, dog. Also a dog.
That's basically, I'm just doing my best impression of my kid, where if we go out, every time we see a dog, he lights up. It's arf arf, arf arf.
The best.
It's incredible because like there are times where he notices it before I do. Like all of a sudden I just hear him go arf arf. I'm like, wait, where? Oh shit, there's a dog. Cool.
I like where he heads that kid. Show me.
Good people. But yeah, the Spurgeon Brodin stuff is going to be interesting to watch as the summer goes, because like I could see one of them being moved if it like makes sense, because I like the idea of getting a little bit of a shift in the blue line and like making it so that you know some of these kids are going to get a chance to play. You can't move both, in my opinion. That just like takes you too many steps back and removes a lot of what makes the Minnesota Wild go. You're going to probably get more for Brodin, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also why I kind of would rather keep him. But I don't know. That's something we're going to probably talk about more in future weeks. Let's keep going with the Rossi stuff. What do we got, Mateo? Rossi and 2026 first for Tage Thompson. Yeah, Yurov truther. I don't think that's anywhere in the stratosphere of what they'd want in return. And we've already kind of exhausted the Tage Thompson discussion. Jasama, I'm not even going to try. Give them a Liam Ogren and second rounder. Is that a response to Yurov truther? Is that maybe in place of the first? I'm a little confused. I don't know exactly what's going on there.
Anyone take them. Take them. Anyone. Just give them. Yes, we'll take nothing, please.
Liam Ogren and second rounder, future considerations.
Okay, so it is like the first, second Ogren and Rossi.
First, second Ogren, Rossi for Thompson. I mean, that's super pricey, but again, like if you told me that that's a trade that Bill Guerin made, I'm not going to sit here and like pound my fist on the table. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hell yeah, Tage Thompson.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I'm okay with it. All right, Nick Johnson. I would love Tage, but I wonder if there is any hard feelings since he was snubbed from the USA squad. Rossi and Spurge for Larkin in the third. That Larkin trade not happening, Nick. Tage Thompson, maybe that's part of the pitch to get him here is like, yo, dude, you come here and you're happy, you're going to be on Team USA. So,
yeah,
let's go.
I don't know if there's a whole lot. I mean, to like the sort of like the hard feelings go or whatever. I can't imagine, like, let's say,
I can't imagine a player holding a grudge against a GM for not putting them on an Olympic roster. Mm-hmm. Again, we're going to go back to the Yzerman St. Louis stuff. Sorry, I can't help myself.
Yeah.
But no, probably no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Matthew says Rossi for Beniers and a fifth. Well, first off, we're getting nothing added to Beniers in a Rossi trade. Rossi, Ogren, and 26 first, and another prospect like Kiviharu or Richie for Larkin. Again, I think that's like a realistic trade. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but that I think is a fair Larkin offer.
Yep, that's the mold of a move, probably.
Yeah, no, so good call, Matthew. I like where your head's at as far as like fair value. Unfortunately, I think Tage and Larkin are both going to be off limits, but we'll see. Tyler Trombley says Rossi, Juracek, 26 first for Pasta. Z, I'll let you take this one.
I mean, it's a no, but it's going to be. So this is like what's fascinating to me is like how much Minnesota gives up for someone like Juracek. And then if they're moving out Marco Rossi, the fact that they've done nothing but tank his value between the playoffs and then the few months leading up to the playoffs. Like you gave up all that for Juracek, who like you're gonna be trying to find a spot in the lineup for him next season. Obviously there's a big injury recovery ahead for him, given the fact that he had a fucking ruptured spleen. So you spend all of that for a guy like Juracek, who I love. It did look good in his cup of coffee in the NHL with Minnesota. Those 5 or 6 games. Given the scenario he found himself in, especially. But then you're potentially moving out your second leading scorer, 23-year-old center who you drafted top 10. You've just tanked his value over the last few months. So, like, that's where I'm like, this has been kind of like mind-boggling asset management almost. But
yep.
That's the first. Whenever I see those two names together, like the discrepancy between this, like the valuing your assets, it's crazy.
The GM on the other side of that is like, it's got to be like Dallas, right? Like that screams Dallas being like, okay, yeah, these two guys have diminished value and we know how good they can be. We'll take them off your hands. Yeah. Imagine throwing Juracek onto that blue line and throwing Marco Rossi in as a middle six center. Oh, that's how it's going to go too. Blech. Rossi's going to end up with Colorado or Dallas, and we're going to live to regret it. All right. C Money Mike. Rossi and Hinostroza to Washington for Dylan Strome and Brandon Duhaime, mainly just to bring back Duhaime and the vibes. Love where your head's at. This trade gets laughed out the door. Hinostroza has 0 trade value. We picked him up off waivers, and he was serviceable for us. I don't think that Dylan Strome is going anywhere. Brandon Duhaime could be had, and I wouldn't mind having him back. He'd be a good fourth liner for a lot of reasons. But no, Dylan Strome pretty firmly planted in Washington.
He's been fucking phenomenal there. I think he just re-signed on a long-term deal too.
Yep.
He has been unbelievable for them, though. I still can't believe Chicago just were like, no thanks. Dude,
it's part of the tank. It was part of the tank.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean that's a non-starter for Washington. If they say yes to that, Billy Gary would be like, oh, we need several private jets to fly these guys out here.
Cole says he wasn't sure who to add as the second wild guy. If you really wanted to make a trade like this work, like it is probably more of like a Rossi Ogren, right?
I mean,
that's at least a conversation. You're not being hung up on. It's like, okay, let's talk through this. Like, what else can we do? But Hinostroza is just a no value piece there.
I don't think the Dylan Strome part's just the conversation ender for Washington. Like, it's like, nope. Unless he comes in with the greatest offer humanly possible.
Washington now that what's his name? Jesus. Why can't I think of his name now? The outcast everywhere. Big ass center. Dubois.
Oh,
They just take him having a good year, flip him out for like a big return. And it's like, haha, gotcha.
That would be, yeah.
And of course, you've got Rob Blake just like beating the shit out of himself in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Johnny Banana, is there not one decent realistic trade to read? We've had like 2 that I think were in the ballpark. But yeah, there's a lot of them that I think that the biggest thing with this exercise is I think there's a big misunderstanding of what Rossi's value is.
Mm-hmm.
No GM is coming to you. As soon as there are 2 teams, Rossi's value is back where it should have been, right? Because you've got 2 teams that are interested. But every team knows that you don't want this guy. It could not be more clear. If we know that Rossi's out, they all know it.
Yeah.
So you need to have a bidding war or Marco Rossi's value is absolute shit. Period. Mm-hmm. Now, could there be multiple teams that are interested in his services? Yeah. Do I think that you're going to get fair value on him? Probably not. But if you can come close, or if you can package him plus and get a legitimate top 6 center, there's a world where I forgive it and I'm okay to move on. But no, right now, the way that they have treated Marco Rossi in general, crushed his value, as you and I have mentioned, not just today, but endlessly for the past couple months. I don't understand how you can mismanage this asset so bad. And I don't see this trade being one that we win. I just hope it's not one that we aggressively lose.
Unless it is legitimately a massive like package, both sides, whatever, it's going to be an underwhelming trade. We know that they want space to spend. In theory, I know that we're not going to go over the space that's already been used. We're not doing that right now. But like, they have been itching to hit free agents. Scares the shit out of me that when you look at the UFAs this season, and the one name that constantly comes up, and Ben Hankinson has said that there would be potentially mutual interest in this happening, would be like the Brock Nelson thing, who's whatever, 34, 35.
I'm so bummed.
But like, I still, again, unless it's part of a massive package where you're probably still giving up more than you're comfortable giving up for that top 6 center, which I still don't even think that trade realistically is out there. Like, it's gonna be an underwhelming return. Like, they're not gonna it's
gonna be futures, man. It's gonna be futures.
Or it's like the agent's gonna go out there and shop for like a fucking offer sheet, and then like the Wild decide, like, all right, do we take the picks or whatever.
Rossi plus Ogren for Mishkov. I'd love it, but no chance.
It'd be insane. Again,
Rossi for Bedard, straight up. Rossi to Boston for 7th overall. Z, what do you say?
It's not, no.
Marco Rossi plus Ogren plus 3rd for Nyes. That's just not happening. Matty Nyes is not leaving Toronto. There's like, they will match whatever offer sheet's thrown, I would think, unless Dubas is going to be like outlandish and offer like 11 mil, which, hey, who knows? Honestly, if he does it, I won't even be mad. I'll buy a jersey immediately. I love Matty Nyes so much. Him in Pittsburgh will be so fun.
On the other side of your camera. Just hang it on the other side.
Yeah. I don't know. It's only bad luck for. Oh, no, that's not true. I had the Pittsburgh Zucker up for a little bit. Rossi 7x7 extension. I would love it.
Again, oh yeah. So that's what I was looking at the other day. I pulled up that AFP analytics because they do like the contract projections, and they've been pretty close on like pretty much everything they've thrown out. And it was like they gave 2 scenarios out there for like a Rossi extension, short term and long term. And like the long term
is
like,
not happening anymore.
Right. It was like 2 years, 5 something. And the long term was like 7 by 7.3, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's the value.
That would be great.
That makes sense.
God.
And guess what?
Yeah.
He takes that. Even a 7 by 5, like $7 million, 5 years. Like the fact, even Russo has come out and said that the 5 by 5 is a fair offer. I just don't agree. Sorry, he didn't come out and say it. He said it with Joe and I on our show, but like, I basically just made faces and then didn't address it because he's going to win any fight. So I let it go. But I don't think it's a disrespectful offer. I want to be clear on that. 5 by 5 isn't disrespectful. But if they think that that's their top offer and they're not going to go past it, lunacy, insane, psychotic behavior, just weird behavior. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. Why draft a 5'9" player if you're going to hold being 5'9" against him? I'll never get it.
Yeah, well, here we are.
Terry Anderson, Brodeen plus Rossi plus Kiviharu or Ogren to Buffalo for Tage Thompson. And JJ Peterka. Yeah, lost him. You'd be getting just Tage Thompson in that scenario. Maybe something else with him, but you're not getting Thompson and Peterka in that package. There's no way.
Tage Thompson is not if he was to land in Minnesota,
be very fun.
You are losing. Take your pick. I mean, it's Booyam. They're the first player they're asking for.
I could see. What if it was
I just like to be, unless Tage Thompson aggressively says, I am out and I have 3 teams I would like to go to and I will make them all public. There's this. He is never. I am going to be aggressive about this. He will never be here.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no way. And I'd
love to be wrong.
If it were to happen again, the centerpiece of the Wild package going back the other way is Marco Rossi would be
Marco Rossi's the 3rd guy on that list.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
There's no way that Buffalo can do that.
Oh,
so
agreed. Rossi and Spacek to Buffalo for Kulich and Buffalo's 25 first. I'm going to be honest. I'll tell myself I don't know enough about Kulich to weigh in.
He's phenomenal. Buffalo. That's a hard no from Buffalo.
Hard no for Buffalo.
Yeah. Again, all we've done is tank fucking Marco Rossi's value.
Hang on, though. Let's talk about this one, Z. Cole brings up Pinto, and I've seen a lot of different trade offers involving Pinto. How do you value Shane Pinto as a center? Where does he project for I won't call it a cup team, but for a contending team?
He's a solid 3C.
Right. And I've seen a lot of trade offers most of the trade offers I've seen are us thinking we're going to get way more in return than we should. I've seen a couple people saying Rossi and a first and something for Pinto. And I'm saying hard no on that.
Yeah, that's
Rossi for Pinto straight up. We could do worse.
Yeah.
I could live with that. Cole also brings one up here. Rossi and a 3rd for Kirby Dach.
I think Kirby Dach at this point, I just don't. He's had so many fucking injuries.
That's the thing. If you promised me that Kirby Dach would stay healthy, okay.
Man.
Interested for sure. But yeah,
it is sad how fucking hard he's had bad injuries too. And he's another one of those guys had a couple bad injuries and just unfucking lucky injuries. That one when his hand exploded at a fucking exhibition game for the World Juniors. That was so sad.
Yeah. But he was on such a good trajectory.
Mm-hmm. He was very fun.
But it would have been in Chicago, so I'm not totally heartbroken.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, this is just depressing.
Again,
Cosmo.
It's
Cosmo says, would you take Cap at 13 and Rossi at 7 by 7? First off, Rossi 7 by 7, I think is an absolutely fair and reasonable signing, and I wish that Bill Guerin wasn't such a bitch about it and he would do it. Kaprizov is making more than 13. If he signs for 13, they better erect a statue the next day. Like,
it better be done right now already.
Yeah, they're already working on it, and it's not the people who did Dwayne Wade's because, oh my God, monstrosity. I think Kaprizov's getting 15.
Wouldn't be.
And I don't have whatever they pay him, I will accept.
Yeah, I don't care.
As long as he's not going to bitch. Like if he took 16 by 8 and then bitches that he doesn't have guys to play with, sorry, dude, I don't fucking care. That's what freaking Mad Men. That's what the money's for.
Fun fact, never watched the show.
Great show, but I understand why it's not for everyone.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. You're giving Carrillo. Yeah, that's just the fact.
Rossi for Owen Tippett. Then give Sam Bennett the bag. I don't think Sam Bennett's coming here, but I wouldn't be mad if he did. Rossi for Tippett. I mean, bringing a guy in that doesn't have a soul is questionable, but aside from that, what do you think?
I love Owen Tippett. He's a really good player. I mean, the last couple of years, he's scored like 25, 30, right? Like, I don't know how much more there is there, but I mean, it's at that point, it's just center for wing. Like, I don't know, but I like Tippett a lot. He's a good player. I mean, if you got a guy that's going to give you 30 goals, if you can move out Rossi, bring in a guy that's going to play in your top six and score 30 goals, all right. Like, yeah, even then, like, I don't know, but he just re-signed a long-term deal there too. I think it was like a 7-year deal, like a year ago. But I mean, I love Owen. He's a very fun player. He's a prick to play against too. Super skilled, ridiculous shot. That was one of the really nice things that, like, moving out Giroux out of Philly to Florida, like, that was a nice get. No one tip it there, so
yeah.
But yeah.
Huh.
We can't have that many more, can we?
I think we've hit offer Bennett 7.5. He's gonna get more than that. I hate to tell you, Bob. What do you think, Z? How much do you think Bennett's gonna make? I think he's in the 8s or 9s.
I think
someone will pay it.
Surprisingly less than people assume.
If it's in Florida, sure.
Given his age, and it's like, is he gonna pop anywhere? Like, is he gonna pop like 25, 30 goals outside of Florida? Like, he's in the perfect situation right now. So
agreed. But if he gets the money, he doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, I think it's crazy to give him 9, 8, too. Like,
I'm not questioning whether it's crazy. I'm saying that's what's going to happen if it's not in Florida.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, someone will.
He's going to be overpaid.
Yeah,
but he's the guy that, like, famously, right? There's guys that get you there, and there's guys that get you through.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that the Minnesota Wild need to get you through.
Right.
Honestly, the guy that I want the Minnesota Wild to get, and funny enough, Russo mentioned it on his podcast, and I thought I was going to be on an island with this take. I want Corey Perry. Very badly.
Watching him just, like, score at will in the playoff. I mean, at will, but, like, in the playoffs, like, there were a couple of games where McDavid and Draisaitl didn't, like, just go nuts. Him Perry's like, I'm a scorer from closer than Zach Hyman. I'm gonna be in the net. I'm still gonna do it.
Exactly.
And he is such a fucking asshole to play against. It's unreal.
Am I the only person that doesn't hate Corey Perry? Like, I actually really like him.
Oh, I find him. I think he's funny as hell. The one sad thing about Trent Frederick going to Edmonton is that they won't fight anymore. Because Perry would always, like, there were a few times he would bait him into fights, and then Frederick would just put an absolute beating on him. And then there was one game that, like, I think Perry was just looking to cross-check anyone on the Bruins one night, and he did it, and then it was Trent Frederick, and he turned, he was like, ah, fuck. And they dropped the gloves, and Frederick just beat the ever-living Christ out of him.
Anthony, I love you for this.
It is like that. Like Perry honestly might play another fucking 3 years in this league. 3, 4. Like
His wife said
not
one more year.
Yeah. Well.
Did you see that presser?
Yeah.
There's a kid in the background, like, Mom says one more year. All right. I think we're good then on that. Anything else Minnesota Wild specific that we need to hit on? Probably not for this week. I think we're good tabling it there. Mateo, I think we should get to Mem Cup, maybe. I know there's at least one team we're talking about there. Overall, Z, you watch way more CHL than I ever will. How do you feel about the 4 teams that made it? Good for hockey, or are there teams you're like, God damn it, I wish a different team made it?
No, I mean the best teams in their respective leagues won. Like Medicine Hat, like we talked about this leading up to the WHL playoffs. They were ridiculous all year long, and of course for the playoffs in the second series or whatever, or the third series. Oh no, it was just the WHL finals, I guess. Cade Lindstrom comes back after missing an entire year of hockey, puts up points. Like, he's a freak. He is so good. I cannot wait to watch him play college hockey.
Dude.
Yeah, it's me perfect for him.
Yeah.
But
2C behind Stramel.
Electric. Medicine Hat's just like, they're so fucking fun to watch. And with Gavin McKenna being one of the most terrifying prospects to watch, like, ever, it's just the cherry on top.
What's their top 6? Like, what are the lines for Medicine Hat?
I have to look at it again now that Lindstrom's back, but I mean, it was like Richie was playing with. Maybe he actually was playing with Lindstrom last game, because for a while there he was playing with like McKenna and Oasis Wieselatt. But now Bash is back with Lindstrom, I think, again, because Bash went off one of those games in the finals. They've had a few iterations of that top 6, but like now that Basha and Lindstrom are both back, it's just like, oh my god, they have 4 first lines almost. Unbelievable.
Well, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Rip the Band-Aid off for me. You'll love it. Per college hockey guru Colby Cohen, Ryder Ritchie is going to be you, and I'm disgusted.
I was surprised to see that. Then again, who knows? But I mean, he's just gonna fill in that. He's super skilled. He's so fun to watch. And I mean, even like throughout the year with Medicine Hat popping off with all those all-stars, I mean, he's a phenomenal player, but he stood out pretty much every game he played in again. Like, he's definitely taken his game to another level. Again, part of that is just being in Medicine Hat, and regardless of what line he ends up playing on, like, it's going to be one of the most dynamic lines in the dub. But if he ends up at BU, I'm going to be in that press box hanging out, because he is very fun. But
BU is just going to, like, BU, Michigan State are far and away front runners next year, right? Like, is there any other team that's even in the discussion with those 2 teams?
I mean, I think BC is always going to be there now with like how good like their recruiting classes are going to be like year after year.
But
we'll see
like,
what
I'm not saying they're not going to be good.
Like Hagen's does.
Like, do you really think that, like, gun to your head, do you consider BC above either of those 2 teams, or are they the next tier under those 2 teams?
I think they're still maybe just under, but not by much.
Fair enough.
But
it's like, didn't BC lose a lot?
Yeah, but their recruiting classes are just like the next couple of years. They really like restock the cupboards again.
Fair enough. All right, so Medicine Hat, the most fun team in the Mem Cup.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Moncton outside the queue. It's always interesting with the queue. But like Caleb Desnoyers has looked fucking ridiculous in these playoffs. Again, you always have to throw the Q disclaimer out there, but like I still think Moncton is legit, just like an absolute force. They're very good. They play a hard physical game. They still have those guys that just score at will. So they're a deep team, play hard. I think like they lost a game in the final, and their goalie, his playoff record was like 26-1 at that point. It was like, this is insane. It's just like a fucking animal. But I mean, London's ridiculous. Sam Dickinson just had a fucking insane year as a defenseman, and he was like 2 points per game in the OHL playoffs, which is nuts.
No.
I mean, even for like CHL hockey, like as a defenseman, 2 points a game is crazy. Like, what a fucking season he had for London.
Yeah, Ace here. If you had to choose between Z Buyam and Sam Dickinson, who would you prefer?
Yet another impossible comparison.
You can have either on your team. Which one do you want?
I don't.
It's not a comparison necessarily.
God, of course, I went back-to-back in the draft, too. I mean, you probably still... Oh, God, they're legit neck and neck. It's so tough to evaluate, like, the production in college hockey versus... I mean, I forgot. He actually had... Dickinson had 91 points in 55 regular season games this year. That's insane. Back-to-back OHL Cups. 6'3", 210. I don't fucking know, man. That's I'm winning either way.
All right, here's the question.
I'll just be a homer and take William.
Hang on. Do the Minnesota Wild trade that pick for Rutger McGroarty if William's taken instead of Dickinson?
Wait, what? Hold on.
Famously, Dickinson was taken right before the Wild picked.
Mm-hmm.
So if Buyam was taken there instead, do the Minnesota Wild take Dickinson or do they make the trade? Because all they said was if Buyam was there, we weren't going to trade the pick anymore. Like that was the caveat around it. Now, is that just because they weren't going to go in and be like, hey, if any of these D are there, we're taking them? Or do you think that it was like truly for Buyam, otherwise they were going to go get McGroarty?
I mean, I would imagine it was for Buyam. Because Dickinson also was shocking that he was there at 11.
A lot was shocking about how that all rolled out.
that whole like first 50. It was like, holy shit. But, yeah. God, 31 points in 17 playoff games. Just fucking, they kicked the shit. They kicked the shit out of everyone. But yeah, no, Mem Cup should be sick. It's gonna be fun. Those teams are all real fucking solid. So it's gonna be good.
Fair enough. Then we get to how we'll end the show. The first official 2025 NHL mock draft from Spoke Z.
We're gonna be flying.
Yeah. It's fine with me. So first up, we've got the New York Islanders, which weirdly proves that the lottery was not rigged, because that's like the weirdest team for the league to rig it for. I feel like I know exactly where you're going to go with this, but let's just is there any discussion to be had around the first overall pick in your mind?
I mean, I think it's immediately, despite the fact that he played very little hockey this year, Matthew Schaefer is a perfect fit for them. like especially on that blue, like their prospect, the blue line, like is about as like that's their biggest need more than pretty much any other team in the league. Like you give him, he's got the potential to be a number one for however many years. You know, you've already got Dobson there, and a couple other guys that profiles like defensive demon, but just as far as like anyone with a high ceiling that they have in their pool already, like Shaver blows them all out of the water. And then the only, it's like, I think maybe Scott Wheeler mentioned it too. It's like, we have to at least acknowledge, like, you know, Hagen's Long Island boy loves the Islanders, whatever. But at the same time, like,
do we know what pajamas Matthew Schaefer wore as a child?
Cannot confirm or deny he had Islanders pajamas, so not sure.
Pierre Maguire is definitely the one who would have that answer.
He would know, yeah.
It's like peeking in.
Oh, hate that. Yeah, I think
right.
Matthew Schaefer was going to be the pick right away.
Oh, all right, so you're saying it's Schaefer for sure. All right. Moving on then to pick number 2, San Jose Sharks, who, God, they wanted Schaefer so goddamn bad. That would have fit so perfectly with their build. He's gone. What do the San Jose Sharks do at number 2?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Misa's the pick here. God, they would really love it if Schaefer was still on the board there, but unlikely. But you add Misa to the mix, gives you flexibility. He can play center or wing. He can probably step in the league pretty soon, either next year or the year after, and be like a pretty solid impact player as is, just to continue on with their rebuild and the young players that they have coming through the system. So it gives you flexibility. He's got ridiculously high upside. Like, he was a beast this year. So for me, I think Misa's off the board there at 2. And it's really, really nice fit. Again, the flexibility of the fact that you can play with center or wing gives you ridiculous two-way value, plus the offensive upside, the ridiculously high ceiling. There's a terrifying like crop of young forwards coming up.
I think the first 2 picks, most people, at least for the time being, until we get through the combine and get closer to the draft, I think everyone's going to say it's Schaefer then Misa. Where it gets interesting here is the 3rd pick for Chicago. Who are they going with?
Yeah, this is where it gets pretty interesting. I think they are going to want to go. They probably are leaning center here. You could see them taking one of like. I don't think they would, if they go the center out, I think they look at like what they have right now. They probably avoid the Higgins, another like undersized light centerman maybe, but you know, you look at guys like Anton Frondel, Caleb Desnoyers, I think probably intrigued them. It's like a different mix. I just have a funny feeling it ends up being a guy like Frondel. Again, another guy that potentially can play center or wing. If he does fit as a center, you have the opportunity to like push out Bedard to the wing and give him like less of these like crazy minutes where you need him to do literally everything. They probably are praying that like Misa slips, because that gives you like that ultimate flexibility with Bedard too, and like you're pretty confident that Misa can be a center. But Desnoyers, Frondel are probably the 2 that they're looking at. Two-way value, super high upside. So there you go. So I didn't pick one.
Did you pick Frondel?
I think yeah.
Nice. All right, so number 4 then, the fun winner, Utah. Who do you go with there, and how do you kind of decipher what they need?
I think you look at like some of the players that they've got that have made their way to the NHL already. They've got a couple like 5'10", 5'11" skilled forwards. So do they ultimately want to go size? If they go the center route, this is where I would see Desnoyers going. If they're okay with like another big scoring winger, then maybe it's Porter Marchand. I could see them going either way. Given the profile and the types of players they brought in, like just like the super physical side of the game, like the big guys that compete super hard, I'd say Porter Marchand's the pick for them here. Look at the wave.
He was in my lap for all of that. I hit mute right after I teed it up for you, and he came in, and he knows who you are. Like he saw you, and he said hi like 7 times, but obviously you couldn't hear.
That's my boy.
Oh man, but yeah, I'm actually like, I love the idea of Porter Marchand ending up there. Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
So now number 5. The team that everyone knew would be a lottery team, the Nashville Predators, the team who needs nothing, but needs everything. What are they going to do here at 5?
I think at this point, this is where James Higgins might end up. Like they've gone the route of like, they prioritize big competitiveness with their high picks recently. They haven't drafted like in recent years that super skilled forward up front. So I wonder if Higgins is like an interesting selection there. Like he just makes sense to me. Got probably higher upside than a guy like Desnoyers, so they can just add that to their like the premium skilled forward with like the ridiculously high upside. So I think I end up with Higgins here. Because I mean, they in the past few years they've got like Zach LaRue, Jaeger Shurin, and they've drafted a couple other like just tall guys that like profile to be pretty solid NHLers long term, but more of that abrasive competitiveness. So like for me, I'll say fuck it, throw Higgins in there. Join his buddy Teddy Stiga.
Who do I have to hate for the next decade, potentially? It's going to end up in Philadelphia and become a scumbag.
Let's see, what did I do here? It said Schaefer, Misa, Frondell. Who did I have? Oh, God, I literally had it listed. Now it's gone. I think I said Martone at 4, Higgins at 5. At 6.
I feel like I already know who you're saving for Boston at this point.
Probably Desnoyers here at 6.
Oh, that's what I thought you were going to say for Boston. All right.
If he's gone, you wonder about a guy like Brady Martin from the Sioux. Just a big, insanely competitive, physical prick to play against with some offensive upside that's just like going to be a good NHLer. But if Desnoyers is sitting there, it's that responsible pick. Again, he gives you that really solid 2A value with some offensive upside. And he's just had a ridiculous season, really good playoffs. So if Desnoyers is sitting there, makes sense.
How do you think he projects in general? Like he's a guy that I'm just like very fascinated because everyone, at least like outside of you, right? Because I know how you feel about a lot of these guys, but everyone's like, oh, he's like such a good 2-way center. And to me, it's like, oh, so you mean he kind of tries on defense in the queue? Like, what have you seen that tells you like, yes, this guy, like what he's doing in the queue absolutely translates?
Oh, well, I mean, just like the defensive habits, his positioning, how hard he works. Like he's a very smart player, like super high intelligence. His like he doesn't have any real like glaring weaknesses. It's like the question is going to be the upside. Like how much of this offense is going to translate? Like how like literally how much of it? Because he's got no doubt skill. He's made a couple of ridiculous plays in the playoffs. And again, like he's first PK guy, first PP guy, like affects the game every time he jumps over the boards. Again, it's just like always tough to evaluate the Q, but I think he's a super high IQ player, plays the right way, super smart kid. So I think ultimately he translates probably like 2-3C. I think you decent scoring 2C gives you that 2A value for sure.
Nice. All right, then. Who do the Boston Bruins take now that everyone you wanted is off the table?
Probably Jake O'Brien, another center, Brantford Bulldogs, super smart, legit playmaker, high upside. He's got skill, division, really good on the power play. I mean, they're just at this point going to take a swing on some I think their target is center. Fingers crossed. And a guy like Jake O'Brien, like he's popped offensively this year. And he can do it at even strength too. So I think they take a swing at Jake O'Brien. It's a really fun player to watch. They need to build down the middle. And I just wonder if McQueen gives them just the fact that he's barely played any hockey this year. I wonder if that makes him a little bit nervous.
It didn't hurt Schaefer.
Yeah, no, I know. But Schaefer's head is like a different level. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. All right. Boston Bruins get Jake O'Brien. Who do the Seattle Kraken go with at number 8?
I kind of I want to save that for Buffalo. I'll have them take the swing at McQueen. Big competitive two-way center with some legit offensive upside. I don't see them taking a defenseman, I don't think.
It's just so on brand that you're going to say McQueen 8 because it's literally every time we've done a mock or seen other people's mocks, he's always at 8.
Have I? Is he really?
Yeah, always.
Oh. Well, there you go. So I'm staying on Brandon. Again, it sucks that he played such little hockey, like because those first however many games, 8, 9, 10 games that he played before he had that like huge injury, he was, I mean, ridiculously good for the Brandon Wheat Kings. But if he stays healthy and he's on his game, he's this big two-way guy, super competitive, hits hard. I mean, like he came back from missing all the time. First game back, it's a game misconduct. So he is a super competitive guy. I think that's probably a guy that Seattle's going to target here. So yeah, I'll go Roger McLean.
Which small skilled player do the Buffalo Sabres take at 9?
Not doing that. I'm going to go against the mold here. I'm taking another one of my favorites from this draft, except he is 6'5", insanely skilled, but he's huge. And he's very fun to watch. A human highlight reel. Lyndon Lakovic out of Moose Jaw. He is so much fucking fun to watch. I love this player. Like, again, I talked about it early in the year. Like, his skating has taken a whole step forward. Just like he looked like a guy that was stuck in mud a lot over the last few years. This year he's just flying up and down the ice. He's so good in transition, like super creative with the puck. When option A isn't there, he can change course. I mean, he's just like, he's so fun. He's one of my favorite players in this draft. His highlight tape is ridiculously funny. It's just like sports that are top 10 mode every time he touches the puck. Score from distance, score from in tight. Like, I think his ceiling is insanely high. So Buffalo finally decides not to go for like a 5-10 fun player.
Now, producer Mateo weighed in on the side. What do you think about them taking Mertka here?
That's another solid option. 6'5" right shot D-man, super physical. He is nasty. He's really good. He's probably going to be my second or third D-man off the board. He's not going to be gone too far after this. Just given how solid he is in his size and the fact that he's a right shot, he's going early.
Love those right shots. Yeah, my kid's for sure not going to be allowed to hold a stick left-handed. Number 10, which who would have ever thought that the Anaheim Ducks would draft a double-digit pick? What does Anaheim do here? What their whole pool and their current roster and everything is beyond fascinating to me. What do you think the right move is here?
Radamerka. So you look at their like decor, they've got a little bit of everything. And like they took a guy like Stolberg last year, another big right shot D that's super physical. Merca has the skating at 6'5". That's like, I mean, he's an absolute unicorn as far as like his defensive game, how well he skates at his size, how young he is. You know, if they hadn't taken Sedecki last year, maybe Eklund's the pick here. But knowing Verbeek, seeing a right shot D that's 6'5" that skates that well, given like their pool of defensemen that they have, like a bunch of undersized, super skilled guys, plus one or two that are like bigger. Merca, I'm sure, is going to be super intriguing for them. Plus, it's a defenseman, so like there's going to be a lot that go earlier than even we would expect. So, I think Merca might be the pick here.
Are you going to do it for me?
I'm going to do it for you.
Oh, baby. Number 11. And credit to Mateo as well. Very timely comment in our private chat saying Eklund would be funny after the whole Benson thing.
I thought about just twisting the knife. I mean, I
just tell me so many fun things about Eklund. And by the way, we're gonna have Jesse Marshall on here at some point. He's already said he's more than happy to come on and talk draft stuff with us. But he has been aggressively banging the drum for Victor Eklund for the past like couple months for Pittsburgh. Why should I love him more than I already do?
I mean, he first of all, he's so repeats, brother. For a guy that his size, his ability playing pro hockey in Sweden this year was ridiculous. Like, I mean, he's 5'11", like 160 pounds. One of the more physical forwards in that league. He looks to establish contact. He was one of the better players overall in the Allsvenskan this year on a team that ultimately wins and then gets promoted to the SHL for next season. Was like right around 0.75, 0.8 points per game, scores goals, can score from distance, super skilled, very creative, and he plays at 1,000 miles an hour. Like the difference I've always had between him and like Frondell, because they're always like neck and neck in like almost every ranking that you see, not like mock drafts, but ranking. It's just like his ability to play at pace is on a whole other level. Another guy that's just so good too at like adjusting on the fly, like someone that plays 1,000,000 miles an hour and thinks at 1,000,000 miles an hour, like the brain matches the feet. And again, it's just like fascinating watching him just like level guys at 5'11", 160 pounds. So if they're, I don't think Dubas cares about the size part. So a guy with the nonstop motor, super skilled, dual threat, and he gives you value up and down the ice. Like he's just a solid forward all around. He's very fun. So I love Victor Eklund. Another one of my favorites in this draft. I think it just makes a ton of sense for them. So there you go.
God, I hope that comes to fruition. I'll be so happy. All right. Who's the other guy that I'm going to have to hate for maybe not the next decade because it's pick number 12?
Oh, I think you're going to hate him.
Who's going to the Rangers?
It just feels like the most Rangers pick of all time. Kashan Aitchison. I don't think I actually put him on that list that I sent you. I can't remember.
You did not.
He is, so like last year we talked about a guy like Stian Solberg who went to Anaheim pretty early. Like a big, just ultra physical prick to play against. He is like 6 foot, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", flies up and down the ice, can get involved offensively. But my God, he hits everything that moves. He'll fight anybody. It's just, it feels like a very Rangers demon to pick. Again, he's a solid player. I think he's just like, no matter where he ends up, he's going to be an NHLer. Like, he is going to be someone that GMs will fall in love with. I wouldn't be surprised. The Bruins at 7 are probably like, he's big, he's mean, and he's physical, and he shoots right. We love that. But it just feels like such a fucking Rangers pick. Like,
Yeah.
you've already got guys like Rempe there, Will Cooley there, Brandon Othman there, Brett Berard there. Fucking like the picks that they've made in the past. It feels like a Rangers pick, but I don't know why I said right-handed. By the way, he's a left shot. But he's big, flies up and down the ice, super physical, and he's a prick. So, I imagine that might be a spot for him.
Yeah, if I wasn't scrambling to put these together, I for sure would have like stopped him and like, why didn't you list Aitchison anywhere? Because I know he's another guy that's been talked about being a potential Pittsburgh guy, but yeah, that wouldn't be awesome. I'm not thrilled about that. What does Steve Yzerman do with pick number 13, given that really the only thing that we're confident Steve Yzerman can do at this point is draft? And I guess not what does he do, what should he do?
I mean, at this point, I feel like Carter Bear would be a solid pick for them. He gives them that like super competitive, super athletic, just like all out beast to play against. His tape also was very fun this year before he got hurt too. I think they don't have like we look at their last few drafts, like they picked up like Marco Kasper, Nate Danielson, who are like they project to be like decent centers, but Carter Bear gives you like some added upside too. So I think I land on Carter Bear here. I love the kid. It just sucked that he had like a fucking Achilles injury this year, but I think given the competitiveness, the way he plays, I think Carter Bear is probably a solid choice for a guy like Stevie Y here. And he's got more upside than like their past few picks too, where it's like, listen, I love Bronzek Nygaard last year. I think he's got some upside for sure, but it was like the most Detroit pick of all time at 15. So Carter Bear gives you that added upside too, though.
Dude, you need to be more active in the non-private chat. You're making great comments here. No more Swedes. Trades the pick.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to 14, nearing the end. Columbus Blue Jackets, which fucking awesome for them that they end at 14. Like, we all wanted to see Dean Evison coaching in the playoffs. The team deserved it. It was so close. Who do they grab at 14?
A couple picks, middle of the first round. Feels like a defenseman might be the move for them here. And Jackson Smith, I've not picked him soon enough, so I'll go Jackson Smith again. I think there's so much room for a player like Jackson Smith. Like at his size, how well he skates, there is some offensive ability that hasn't really fully tapped into before this year, but like we know it is there. I think his ceiling might be 2-3, but like to me, I still think just how well he moves. I think his like floor really is a solid 4 D-man. Like defensively too, he's very advanced as far as defensive habits, reading the game. Like he's just such a solid player. I love Jackson Smith. He's in my top 10 personally. But I feel like he's just a real nice piece to add to that impressive like decor they've assembled in Columbus. So plus Tri-City, their jerseys kind of look like Columbus's. So there you go.
What a great reason. Like the bad jerseys in Columbus, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know pick Brady Martin? All right. 15. GM, that's right. I don't care what anyone else says. GM of the Vancouver Canucks, Jim Rutherford. Who is he claiming at 15?
Braden Coots, Seattle Thunderbirds, another center. I think Coots has a ton of upside. I don't actually I should have checked on his like stats at the end of the year, but like super smart, super competitive. He's got some legit skill, like score goals. I think he's got a really solid 2-way game. So I think Coots might be the pick here. I'd imagine just given how things have gone in Vancouver, this gives them another center that projects absolutely as a center in the NHL that like feels like a pretty sure thing. Again, how smart he plays could be like a top 6 guy in the future. So I think Braden Coots might be the pick here for them. I could see him also going pretty early. But like I don't know how often people bring up his name or like how often people have heard his name as far as like top end of the draft. But he is a very, very popular player. Plays a very like just projectable game. So I feel like he might go earlier than this, to be honest with you.
And look at that. Jersey kind of looks like Vancouver.
Yeah.
Trend. All right. Well, last one here. It's definitely not a Boston Bruins triple up, but we are going to cover both picks back-to-back 16 and 17 for the Montreal Canadiens, because that does, to an extent, impact who you pick, right? The fact that you got 2 back-to-back, like you feel more comfortable taking a swing on one, maybe?
What'd you say?
Tell me.
I just zoned out for a second. I was reading something.
Montreal Canadiens, 16 and 17. I want both picks.
One
at a time. Give me 16. Talk it through.
I think Justin Carbonell might be an option here, even though they've got a ton of forwards. He's like fast, super strong, ridiculous shot. Another guy that plays super high energy, super high pace.
Do you think Montreal would ever draft or like have a guy in their organization with that name?
That's a good point. Actually, that's why they're going to take him.
Jerseys fly.
Yeah, let's say Justin Carbonell here. And then just given how they've drafted recently, I wonder about Cameron Reed, left shot D-man, decently projectable game. He's added some legit offense this year, but skates really well, defends well, pretty reliable all-around player. So fits their profile of player they drafted previously and pretty safe as far as like, I think he adds them. I think he adds something that just fits for them. So Cameron Reed and Justin Carbonell.
Okay.
There you go.
I'll give you a minute then. Like that rounds out the, I guess, top 17, but going for 16. Anyone that you didn't include that you like feel bad about or want to like say, I'm sorry?
Probably. Well, another one of my favorites is Benjamin Kindle, Calgary. I really like him a lot. Another guy that can potentially be a center. He can play wing. His goal scoring, he's always had a ridiculous shot that he just never, before this season, he like just never really used. And all of a sudden he decided to like just let it fly this year. I think he like doubled up his like shot attempts this year compared to last year, and it paid off. I mean, right before he got hurt too, he put up right around 100 points. Like actually I should have also checked his like season-ending stat total, but on a really solid team, was one of their drivers on the offensive side. And again, projectable 2A game. Up until like he was 16, he was pretty much a winger, but he's played a lot of center this year too, so flexibility. But I love Benjamin Kindle. He's another one of my favorites in this draft, so super intriguing. I could see him going like anywhere from, like if you told me he went 12th, I'd be like, I like him. I love that pick. And if you told me like he ended up like 25th, 26th, I'd be like, doesn't shock me that he's passed on him. It's one of, yeah, God. So, I just know I'm going to love their draft. I'm just going to make me throw up.
Every time. Question Mateo had, since, I don't know, we got a little bit of time, I guess. If the Wild were to trade for futures, right, when we're talking about the Marco Rossi deal, what's the cutoff for like centers that intrigue you for the Wild? Like, how far up would you need to jump? Because like we're not going to get a top 10 pick in a Rossi trade, but like somewhere in the teens, 20s, like how far up do they need to get to grab a guy that you think is worthwhile? Or are there guys just in that range that you're like, I would love for the Wild to get one of these centers?
Well, the thing with this draft is like, I feel like there's a couple of guys that you're confident are going to be impact centers in the NHL. And then
so where's the line
that look like it?
Like, is it pretty much Misa, Hagens, Frondell, and that's where you draw the line for like they're going to be impact centers, or are there more in that group?
Nah, I'd say you might be able to find one around.
Maybe Desnoyers, I guess, but beyond those four.
There's a chance at like 15. Like Braden Coots. Very intriguing. I think Brady Martin's going to go top 10. They would love Brady Martin. Just a big.
But you didn't even draft.
Yeah, I did.
Where?
Did I not?
I don't think you did, man.
Yeah, whatever.
So this entire draft is fraudulent.
Yep, there you go. I think he's going to go early either way, but
now, quick pause while you're thinking about that. Have to update everyone since we're on the MNW Young Guns graphic. Everyone go support, follow them, Facebook or Twitter, Minnesota Wild Prospects account. They do a great job keeping everyone up to date. Fun note, Z. I got a DM from someone who posted the graphic about Ryder Ritchie going to BU. Apparently, Colby was not supposed to say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been asked to take down the post, and like I flat out told them, like, don't fucking take it down. Like, he said it. Fuck him. Like, Colby being weird on his podcast, whatever. But yeah, they definitely want them to remove that post because he was not supposed to share that information. So, Colby Cohen, good work, dude.
Stay hot, brother.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Very fun. Very fun. Ryder Ritchie. I still love him. I just wish he wasn't going to be you. Sad.
Maybe he's not anymore.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I didn't realize that Colby guy was associated with you guys. I'm going to the Gophers now. Thanks.
I'm out.
God, I wish if he went to the Gophers, I'd be so happy.
Mm-hmm.
You think McKenna goes college? No.
He'll be at Massanet next year, and he's going straight to the show. Like,
who's he going to?
I'm not kidding. If it's Chicago,
it probably will be Chicago. You know that.
When it's Chicago, I'm switching to cricket. We're doing a cricket podcast. Like I'm done. I'm out. Or like just
pickleball.
refused.
Pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball. Although, actually, you know what? It's a good time to get into pickleball. That people have shut the fuck up about it.
True. I haven't heard much about it lately. So
I will never forget when it was in full swing of just like,
haha, nice.
Nailed it. Of people just being like, do you have a racket? Pat, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm like, I've never even, when I played pickleball, it was in fucking high school. We used a wiffle ball and a fucking wooden paddle thingy, and it was very fun.
Ours is plastic.
Yeah, and it was just like the volleyball net on the ground that we would.
I legitimately hated it. I actually think it's fun now that like if you get like the nice paddles, because for me it's the same thing. If you go back to the old school like hard ping pong paddles, I don't like ping pong, but you give me the like legit paddles and like a 3-star ball and I can like do shit, like ping pong rocks. Pickleball in high school, I hated it. And then everyone got into pickleball and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit ever. And then I played and I'm like, all right, it's all right. Except for the paddles are way too expensive.
Yeah. Well, okay.
As we've talked about famously in the past.
Yes. I was down with it because if we were doing pickleball in gym class, it meant there's 8 things going across the gym, and the whole reason we're doing it is just because like our gym teacher wants to fucking play pickleball. And I would literally just like in the middle of a game, like moonwalk my way silently out of the gym and just go hang out somewhere. I'm like, fuck this. Just like walk around.
The one that was fun was badminton. Me and so it was me and 3 of my hockey buddies that were in like the same like elective gym class. Like we chose to take it just because like whatever, let's do it. The 2 that were really good paired up together, and me and my buddy Dusty literally just tried to hit it as hard as we could every time. Like it was like that commercial. It was, who was it? It was Urlacher and someone else that were like literally like putting the birdie through people's like shins.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like getting stuck. Like literally that thing went up. We were hitting it as hard as possible, and the other team was like covering their faces, and it would either be a good shot and it would land in, or we'd completely miss, and that was that.
There you go. That's always fun. Yeah, no, whenever I would just like sneak out of gym, I would be like walking around, and my guidance counselor was my friend's mom, and she was like the coolest guidance counselor in the world. Like I would just like skip class and just like go hang out in her office and like just eat Jolly Ranchers. And then she like found me in the hallway. She's like, "Are you really gonna get fucking suspended over gym class? Skipping gym class, you idiot!" I was like, "You're raising a lot of good points, Patty."
Did you see what they make me wear?
Change? No. Yeah, that was it. I was like, that's a, points were made, Patty. I don't want to get in trouble for skipping gym of all classes. So then I went back. And then my gym teacher was pissed. He was like, "Where the fuck did you go?" And I was like, "Swearing, inappropriate." Write him up. Yeah, call my parents. I'll call your parents. Never a good day when you get a call home from your gym class teacher. That was tough. Getting home, my dad was like, "Gym? Fucking gym class?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, sorry. Hand up.
Jim
My
Montgomery.
bad. My bad." He also, yeah, right?
Go on.
No, nope. Anyways, the shit I got in trouble for in high school was so dumb.
Dude,
not even cool.
You're talking about like gym in high school, and it's all just taking me to super bad.
Yeah.
Seth, get off the field. Go piss your pants again, Greg.
That's one of my sneaky favorite lines ever.
People don't forget. No, the better one was honestly they're running laps, and he like completely runs out of breath and stops, and the guy with the prosthetic leg runs past. Pussy. Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone 2.5 hours. Oh, this is what I actually meant to start with. So I was just like putting some videos together this weekend, and I like to grab one of the templates for like the starting the first like 5 seconds of the video. I just like pulled up our YouTube. Tell you what, accidentally read a couple comments. People do not like this show, and it is very funny.
There's literally like 2 or 3 people that get mad that you swear.
I swear, I didn't see those. It was what, and this person apparently hates our guts. But
who's this person?
I don't know. I just laughed at the it was such a fucking funny. There you go. There's another one. The comment on this YouTube video was, "If there are 2 people in the world who shouldn't have a podcast, it's these 2 motherfuckers." And I don't think
I even saw that one.
I was in tears. Like I was like, that's the best comment ever. That's so
I hope you come back weekly and tell us how much you hate us.
There's 2 people in the world who shouldn't have it's these 2. Like, hell yeah. There you go. I don't know, dude. I got nothing left. We're 2.5 in.
I think we hit it all, but I kind of want the hate comments to keep coming in. In fact, we should do what pardon my take, does periodically. Give us a 5-star review, make fun of us in it, and we'll read it all live here. Any 5-star review, we'll read it. As long as it doesn't get us, what's the trifecta Z? Doesn't get us fired, canceled, or divorced. As long as it doesn't push those boundaries, we'll read it.
Unless it's funny. If it's funny enough.
If it's funny enough to warrant any of those things happening, then yeah, we'll have to weigh our options. But yeah,
I mean, I think it'd be cool.
Some of the ones on Pardon My Take are incredible, where they like describe each of the contributors. Like some fat piece of shit girl that wears sunglasses and just keeps on like going through it.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Oh, that's the good stuff. I don't know. Anyways,
that's all we got.
We did it. Did the thing.
Which Cosgrove quote do we go with to go out on? He had a lot of good ones today. Yeah. Or just end it.